आज आपका वन शॉट है जिसमें मैंने कोशिश किया है कि आप लोग का मैक्सिमम अलार्म इसमें कवर हो जाए जो आपका CUT में आता है। ठीक है, मैंने काफ़ी सारे क्वेश्चन लिए हुए हैं। ठीक है,
अपने बच्चों को सुरक्षित रखें इंस्टाग्राम के फैमिली टूल्स के साथ, जैसे कि संवेदनशील कंटेंट कंट्रोल। ये बच्चों के लिए
बिल्कुल नॉर्मल लेवल के हैं। हाँ, यही सब सेक्टर पूछ लो बेटा। चलो देखो,
पढ़ते क्यों है? तो रीजनिंग इसलिए पढ़ते हैं। क्योंकि आपको पास जैसे नंबर सीक्वेंस में क्या होगा?
Welcome to the logical reasoning. Hi everyone, confusing of the session. Few authors call it as a logical deduction and few authors call it as a syllogism. Both are the same as some deductive arguments in this topic. Few authors call it as a logical deduction and few authors call it as a syllogism. Both are the same. Now when it comes to the general pattern of the question, that is, two statements are given above followed by two conclusions below. Two statements followed by two conclusions given, that is a general form, and if they want to increase the complexity they will give three statements above and two or more conclusions below.
I had multiple choices for English test.
I found it exact conversion. It was very affordable for me. I gave the reading twice, but still managed to get my scores before my deadline.
I came to know where I lagged and what areas I need to work on.
But general form is two statements above and two conclusions below. Now what we need to do is we need to say either conclusion 1 follows or conclusion 2 follows, either or follows, neither nor follows and both follows. Based on the answer you are getting, you need to pick the correct option. Okay, now let's jump into the actual topic. Now when it comes to the type of statement, so F statements nothing but the above statements I am talking about. The above statements are four kinds. One is all time, second no, third one some and fourth one some not. Now how do we say that it is the all time? Simple. If the statements are stat and if the statements are having a term called all, then it is the all time of the statement. Now sometimes all can be replaced with each, all can be replaced with every or any. So all A's are B is as same as each A is B, every A is B and any A is B. So any one of the statement you will get in the examination. Now the second kind is no type. This no can be replaced with never, can never, cannot be, nothing, it can be. Okay, next. Some can be replaced with at least some A's or B's, most of the A's are B's, minimum few A's are B's, something like that. And some not, there is no alternative. The question types is this one. The type of statements here we have all, no, some and some not. Now when it comes to type of conclusions, here we have two types of a conclusion. That is one definite type of a conclusion and the second one is possibility type of a conclusion. Then by looking, how do we decide? Simple. If the statements are having a term called can be, maybe, possibly, possibility, if these terms are there, it is a possibility type of a conclusion. If these terms are not there, then it is a definite type of a conclusion. By deciding definite or a possibility, then we have a different methods to follow. That's why you need to decide whether it is a definite type or a possibility type. There are two important things we need to remember. One is the conversion and other one is the conclusion. Now how do we decide what are the tips to find out conversion and conclusion? I will discuss. First just go with the definition of the conversion. The conversion definition is, it's a reverse form of the statement. The reverse form of the given statement. Now conclusion means it's a combination of the statement. Combination of statements. Now by the definition what we can understand. To write the conversion, how many statements are required? Only one statement is required because it is the reverse form of the statement. Now when it writes to conclusion, how many statements are required? Minimum 2 statements are required. So this is the basic difference between a conversion and a conclusion. To write the conversion, only one statement is enough because it's a reverse form of the given statement. Simply if we are writing reverse, that means a conversion. Conclusion means it's a combination of statements. Combination means if you want to combine, definitely we require at least 2 statements. Okay. So how do we write the conversion? How do we write the conclusion? That completely I will explain. Now let's jump into the conversion. Now I already told you conversion means it's a reverse form of the given statement. Now how do we write it reverse? Now this first one is the general form or a definite type. And the second one is the possibility type. Okay, now come to this. So here, this small circle represents lotus and the bigger circle represents flower. And when you observe one thing here, complete lotus is inscribed in the flower. Complete lotus is inscribed in the flower. So we can say that it is all lotus are flowers. Okay. This is the above statement here. And when it comes to this one also same. If you take green one is a lotus and the black one is a flower. So here also we can say that all lotus are flowers. So both represent the same, all lotus are flowers. Now we need to write the conversion for that. Now how do we write the conversion for this? I will explain. Concentrate here. Now conversion is anyhow the reverse form of the given statement. So when we want to write the reverse, subject of the statement becomes the object of the conversion and the object of the statement will become a subject of the conversion. Now here, this is the subject and this is the object. Okay. Now when we want to write the conversion, object becomes the subject. So flowers comes here and R is as it is. There is nothing much important about the R and the subject will become an object. Now here, flowers becomes the subject and lotus becomes the object. Now we need to write the statement with respect to flowers. Now when you observe here, we cannot say that all flowers are lotus because flowers is a bigger circle and lotus is inscribed in the flower. Okay, so few flowers are lotus here and there are some region here, this represents there are some flowers which are not lotus. Then how do we write it? So we can write it as few flowers are lotus or we can write it as some flowers are lotus. Now from the first example what we can understand here is object becomes the subject, subject becomes the object, and all becomes some. This is the first rule we need to remember. All becomes some. Now when it comes to this one, and anyhow this is the possibility type of a conclusion, now we need to write it. All lotus are flowers. So, and these two represent the same, and two circles are the same. So we can say that object becomes the subject and subject becomes the object. Now here again the same, all flowers are lotus because there is no other region represents other flowers here in this. That's why it's a possibility. Now all flowers are lotus is a possibility. Okay, so if we have this term in a below statement, then we can say it is also true. So actual conversion for all lotus are flowers is some flowers are lotus. Then what is the possibility type of a conversion? All lotus are flowers. The possibility type of a conversion is all flowers are lotus. This is representing all. Now when it comes to some, we already know that there are three kinds of a statement: all, some and no. Now here it is representing some. Again it is the actual diagram, and this is the possibility diagram. Okay. Now we need to write it. So here this region represents what? This region represents boys which are not athletes. This region represents athletes, not boys. And the middle region represents this is we are going to represent. The middle region represents what? There are some boys which are athletes. So some boys are athletes. So this is the actual statement. Now actual conversion for this. Actual conversion, what is the rule? Object becomes the subject. So athletes comes here and subject becomes the object. Boys goes there and R is as it is. Okay. Now how should some become? See, this region represents there are few athletes are the boys, and there are other region which represents there are some athletes which are not boys. So what we R is as it is, and for some what's the conversion? For some it is some only. Next, for no, chair is the car. So car comes here and chair becomes the object. Is as it is, and for no, what is the actual conversion? For no it is no. This is the practice question. These three are the practice questions. Now let me tell you the actual kind of a question. So assume that this is the actual examination question. So in the examination, these are the type of questions we'll get, and this is the actual pattern. Above two statements are given and below two conclusions are given. Then we need to find out which one is follows. Okay. Now here, all logs are kept. First point is, when you are solving a syllogism question, first point you need to do is whether the below statements are conversions or a conclusion. That you have to decide first. Then, if it is a conversion, apply the conversion rule. If it is not a conversion, which means it's a conclusion, then go with the conclusions rule. Okay. Now, I am starting a syllogism question solution from the below statement. Now, I am checking keys is in a which statement and logs is in a which statement. Now, here when you observe, keys is in the second statement and the first statement. Okay. So, here keys is in 1 and 2. And logs is in a which statement? Logs is in the first statement. Okay. Now see here, 1 is common. Okay. If 1 is common, what does it mean? To write this statement, only 1 is enough. So if only 1 is enough, what we can understand is it's a conversion of the first statement. Okay. After knowing it is a conversion of the first statement, then we need to apply the conversion rule. So that is, keys here is the object and it becomes the subject. Okay. Logs here is the subject and here it becomes the object. Yeah, very fine. So object becomes the subject becomes the object, that's clear. Then how all becomes? So we know that according to the conversion rule, all becomes sum. Yes, here all becomes sum. It is follows. Okay. So it is follows. If it is follows, then we need to go with the options like A, B, C, D, E. Now, without knowing the second one, we can't decide that which option is correct. So let's go with the second option, second statement. So what's the second statement here? No pocket or keys. Now check if pocket is in a which statement? Second statement. Keys is in a which statement? First and second statement. Now here 2 is common. After knowing the 2 is common, it's a conversion of 2. Okay, then we need to check. Pocket becomes the subject here. Keys becomes the object here, and sum becomes no. But actually, according to the rule, sum becomes sum. But here, sum becomes no. So this is not follows. Does not follow. So only one follows. So answer for the question is A. So hope I am clear. Let's solve the next question. Now, some computers are laptops. No laptop is a printer. Now I am starting solution from this point. Some laptops or computers. Laptop is in a first statement as well as the second statement. Computer is in the first statement. So it's a conversion of the first statement. So it is the conversion of the first statement. Next we need to check. Laptop becomes the subject. Computer becomes the object. So sum becomes sum here. We know that according to the conversion rule, sum becomes sum. So it is follows. Now we need to write the options A, B, C, D, E. Next, second one. No printer is a laptop. Printer is in the second statement. Laptop is in the second statement as well as the first statement. So here 2 is common, which implies that it's a conversion of 2. After knowing it's a conversion of 2, just check it. Printer becomes the subject here. Laptop becomes the object here. And no becomes no. So according to the rule, no becomes no. That is true. So this is also follows. So if both are follows, the answer for the question is E. Okay. Now let's solve the next question. I am starting the solution from here. No pen is a pencil. Pen is in the first statement as well as the second statement. Pencil is in the second statement. So here 2 is common, which means that it's the conversion of 2. Now after knowing conversion of 2, then we need to check it. Pen comes here, pencil goes here, and sum becomes no here. But according to the conversion rule, sum becomes sum. So this is not follows. Okay. Now we need to write it A, B, C, D, E, because we need to pick the options in it. Next, all erasers are pens. Eraser is in a first statement. Pen is in a first statement as well as the second statement. 1 is common, which means that it's a conversion of 1. And eraser becomes the subject here, pen becomes the object here, and see here all becomes all. But according to the conversion rule, all becomes sum. So this is not follows. So if this is not follows, which means both not follows, so answer for the question is D. So hope I am clear with the conversion part. Now in the next part I will discuss how do we write the conclusions and
भारत में आई नई कान की मशीन। पेश है अवार्ड विनिंग कान की मशीन जो कान में
Hi everyone, welcome to AG Mathematics. Today I am going to discuss logical reduction part 2. For better And now we know that what is conversion, what is conclusion and everything. Now assume that this is the examination and how you write in the examination that I am telling you. Just follow this method. Now as usual, I'll start from the below statements, and below statements we can call it as an expense statement, and above we call it as an income statement. Now I always start with the expense statement. Now here all keys are lost. Now first we have to find out, is this a conversion or a conclusion? Now check it. How do we know that it is a conversion? Just find out. Keys is in a which statement? Keys is in a first as well as second statement, 1 and 2. Lock is in a which statement? Lock is in only the first statement. So we can understand that by looking one in both the terms, we can understand it's a conversion. It's a conversion of the first statement because we are getting one in common here, and we know that if one is common, one statement is enough. If one statement is enough, that is a conversion. After knowing that it is a conversion or a conclusion, then we need to check it, is this follows or not. So we'll go with the options A, B, C, D, E. Now is this follows or not? See here, keys comes here, becomes the object, and loss goes there, it becomes the object. And how all becomes? All becomes all here, but according to the rule of a conversion, all becomes some, but here all becomes all, so it is not follows. So first one not follows. The second one. In the second one, again we need to check the same process. This is a conversion or a conclusion. Now loss is in the first statement, pocket is in the second statement. See, there is nothing common here, so we can understand that it is a conclusion. After knowing that it is a conclusion of 1 and 2, then we need to give the values to it. Okay. Now see, it is starting with all. Now we need to write the values like 150. So element 1 is 100, element 2 is 50. And the second one starts with all. Element 1 is 100, element 2 is 50. And one more thing. One middle term value should be 100. So what is common in both that we called as a middle term? One middle term value should be 100 if you want to write the conversion. If none of the value is 100, simply we can say that conclusion does not exist. But here one key's value is 100, so that conclusion existed. Now here it starts with all. So log's value is 100, which is element 1 value is 100 and element 2 value is 50 here. Now we need to verify whether income values are greater than the expense values or is opposite. Where, and one more thing, if the conclusion of the statement pocket is in the second statement. See, there is nothing common here, so we can understand that it is a conclusion. After knowing that it is a conclusion of 1 and 2, then we need to give the values to it. Okay. Now see, it is starting with all. Now we need to write the values like 150. So element 1 is 100, element 2 is 50. And the second one starts with all, element 1 is 100, element 2 is 50. And one more thing, if the conversion has to existed when one middle term value should be 100. So what is common in both that we called as a middle term, one middle term value should be 100 if you want to write the conversion. If none of the value is 100, simply we can say that conclusion does not exist. But here one key's value is 100, so that conclusion existed. Now here it starts with all, so log's value is 100, which is element 1 value is 100 and element 2 value is 50 here. Now we need to verify whether income values are greater than the expense values or not. Now here we have a log here. Now I will go with log income value and log expense value. Now what is log income value? See, log income value is 100. Now what is log expense value? Log expense value is also 100, which means that these two are equal. So in log's point of view, income and expense are equal. So as of now it is follows. Now let's go with the pocket. Pocket income value and pocket expense value. Now what is pocket income value? That is 50 here. And what is pocket expense value? That is also 50 here. Now both are equal. So both the cases income is equal to expense. So according to the general thing, it is follows. Okay. Now it is follows. Clear. Now if conclusion only 2 follows, so answer for the question is B. So hope I am clear. Now let's solve the next question. Now here some bottles are glasses and all glasses are cables. So as usual I am starting from the second statement. All cables are glasses. Cable is in the second statement. Glasses is in the second statement as well as the first statement. Thing it is follows. Okay. Now it is follows. Clear. Now if conclusion only 2 follows, so answer for the question is B. So hope I am clear. Now let's solve the next question. Now here some bottles are glasses and all glasses are cables. So as usual I am starting from the second. Statement all is in the and all becomes. Now let's go with the second one. Some bottles are cables. Bottle is in the first statement. See here, first cable is in the second statement. So we know that it's a conclusion because no number is common here. So it's a conclusion of 1 and 2. After knowing conclusion of 1 and 2, then we need to. So we know that it's a conclusion because no number is common here. So it's a conclusion of 1 and 2. After knowing conclusion of 1 and 2, then we need to give the values to it. So here it starts with sum, which means that this we need to check it. So both values are 50 and 50. Element 1 and element 2 are 50 if it starts with sum. This starts with all, glasses value is 100 and cable value is 50. After writing these values in income, we need to check it. Minimum middle term value is 100 or not. Yes, one glasses value is 100, so we can write the conclusion for it. Now comes to here, some bottles are cables. Bottle value is 50, cable value is 50 because it is starting with sum. Now we need to check it. bottle income value and bottle expense value. Now what is bottle income value? That is 50. And what is bottle expense value? That is 50. Okay. So both are equal according to the bottle point of view. The conclusion is true. Next, cable point of view. Cable income value and cable expense value. What is cable income value here? That is 50. And what is cable expense value? That is also 50 here. So both are equal. Now in both the cases, income is equals to expense. So if income equals to expense, now generally it is true. Now conclusion 2 is true. If conclusion 2 is follows, now answer for the question is B again. Now hope I am clear. Let's solve with the next question. Now here some pens are pencils, all pens. Pencils are chalks. Now let's go with this point. Some chalks are pencils. Chalks is in the second statement. Pencil is in the second statement as well as the first statement. So 2 is common here. After knowing 2 is common, it's a conversion of the second statement. Now after that we need to check is this follows or not. Chalk becomes the subject, pencil becomes the object. Now all becomes sum here. Now according to the conversion rule, all becomes sum, it is follows. Now A, B, C, D, E, we need to write it. Okay, as of now conclusion 1 true. Next, no pen is a chalk. Now pen is in the first statement, chalk is in the second statement. So This is tagged with all. So pencil value is 100 and chalk value is 50 because sum is positive value, but are a case. Log is an if true, then conclusion 1 does not enough statement. So it is true. So only conclusion 2 follows. Is this false? Case is in the first as well as in the second statement. So it's a conversion of the second statement. After knowing it is a conversion of the second statement, it follows the point. Some actors are dancers. So actors is in a which statement? First statement. Dancers is in the second statement. Now we can understand that it's a conclusion. I may be little faster because I already discussed few questions here. So I may be faster here. Now it's the conclusion of 1 and 2. After knowing it is a conclusion of 1 and 2, then we need to check the nature first. Now what is the nature here? 2 are positives and here it is a positive. So it may be follows. Now we'll go with the values here is value. With the second step of not follows, so answer for the question. So after knowing if the conversion of the first statement, we need to check it. Countries comes here, city goes there, and no becomes no actually, but no becomes some here. So this is not follows. Then we need to write the options here. Now, no villages are cities. Villages is in the second statement, city is in the first statement. Now, after knowing this, then we need to verify the nature. It's anyhow a conclusion because nothing is common here. It's a conclusion of 1 and 2. Then we need to check the nature. So here it is a negative and here it is a negative according to the nature point. So here it should be nature. Here it should be a negative. But if two statements are negative, conclusion does not exist. That is according to the table. But here we have a conclusion, so obviously it is not follows. So both not follows. So answer for the question is D. So if two negative statements are there, none of the conclusion is existed. But here this conclusion is written. That's why it is not follows. And so both not follows. So answer for the question is D. So if two negative statements are there, none of the conclusion is existed. But here this conclusion is written. That's why it is not follows. And hope you understand this. Thanks for watching my channel. Bye bye. Hi everyone, welcome to AJ Mathematics. Today I am check it. Pocket